And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Gray Fox, who asked the question, who would in a fight? Merlin from the Seven Deadly Sins versus Baraggan from, and I believe that's the way you pronounce his name. 1 second here. His name should be right here. Yeah. Baraggan. His last name I'm not going to even try to pronounce. From Bleach. Neuron card number 2, the second strongest in the entire Espada. So, I've done Merlin once before, and I've actually done Baraggan at least once before, too. But here's, the information on, we'll go get that in just a second. The information on Merlin is as such, is that, she's one of the strongest wizards in the Seven Deadly Sins. One of her main tactics is to teleport an enemy to harsher environments. In conjunction with her magic infinity, she utilizes a array of spells to serve supplementary purposes, such as inhibiting the growth of a Grey Road's demon egg by freezing them for eternity, and freezing her own time to create a form of immortality. She's capable of using infinity to vastly increase the potency of her magical attacks, allowing her to overpower Chandler's enormous exterminate ray in its true form. As well, she, after receiving the blessings of both Demon King and Supreme Deity, she gained immunity to brainwashing and possession abilities. Those would not matter in this fight whatsoever. Her greatest assets lie in her knowledge and intelligence. So, all the sins have a certain ability. Hers is infinity, which allows her to basically stop the time of her spells, causing them to last for eternity. This ability is so powerful that many label it cheating. Now, to go more in depth about that, Merlin's power of infinity is unique and incredibly powerful ability that allows her to keep her spells active until she chooses to dispel them. That said, it's very likely that any magic effects that she incites will live on even after Merlin herself dies, should she fail to undo it at that point. No matter how powerful the spell, Merlin only needs to cast it once for the spell to take effect. Extremely versatile, numerous ways. But more than anything, the thing about at least Infinity as a whole, there are other spells that she has, obviously. It affects spells. It doesn't affect other things besides spells. And that being said, she also has absolute cancel. Placing her hand over a spell, she allows her to completely erase it from her existence. Again, only really useful on a spell. Location allows her to locate an item or person. Power amplifier allows her to amplify the magic of her allies. Perfect cube. Spell that denies entry to anyone but the caster, originating from the world surrounds a specific area that reflects all attacks. Sun Shunkai Ido, a high-level teleportation that allows her to disappear at precise locations to teleport people instantaneously. Aqua Dress, a spell that creates clothes of water, wouldn't matter. Water Dragon, multiple Water Dragons. Firestorm, powerful blast of fire. Exterminating Ray, a spell where Merlin fires a disintegration beam, incinerating everything in the line of fire. Endless Whirl, a spell which Merlin creates a vortex of wind and incredible destructive power, sucking their objects towards the center. Curse Engagement, a spell in which she creates a contract between two beings to control one of them. By placing a ring on the hand of the victim, that's not going to work in this case. Shock Stinger, a spell which she throws a lightning bolt at the enemy, causing great damage. Magic Seal, technique to seal away the magic of an object. Icicle Castle, a spell which traps her targets inside a huge pillar of ice. Double Impact, 2-stage attack which performs sequence of hand gestures. And then more powerful blast with a snap of her fingers. Fake Ball, which is basically an illusion that hides the real attack. Chrono Coffin, a forbidden art that stops time. Curse Discovery, a spell that casts on someone who is afflicted by a curse. And we're just going to get rid of this real quick. Purgatory Venom, releases a small orb from her finger, which possesses deadly poison properties. Spectral or spherical bullets of the opponent is the Random Ball. Power Limit Break, a technique that allows her to break her limits herself. Full Power Conversion, uses techniques of her allies in a single point, wouldn't matter in this case. So yes, she's quite powerful. She's around 3,000 plus years old, at least. That's what it says here. He only appears to be 30, and she does have like this little kid form. Yeah, true appearance is actually this. So, roughly speaking. But still, she's extremely powerful. Now, Baraggan is the second strongest Espada Arankar in Aizen's army. He was the original king of Hueco Mundo, Las Nuchas, which is the world of the Hollows. He is what is considered a Vasta Lord, which is basically the strongest level of Hollow. As such, he is extremely powerful, giving even some of the stronger characters a difficult time. Though he fought against Soifon, which he was a shitty matchup for Soifon. He completely outclassed her in every way, shape, or form. But his mate, see, all the Espada embody an aspect of death, and his aspect is time and aging. As such, he actually has. Now, it's not that he projects it. I think he conjures it like at will. I think he just instinctively has a time dilation field around him, which means time slows down around him. So anything that's coming in, he can immediately just block and dodge without too much difficulty. Although it's implied through some trickery that we see that Oimaida do, her lieutenant, Soifon's lieutenant, that it might be something he has to do at will, because he almost caught him off guard at one point. However, it's still just a dangerous ability. It's also just a huge tank of an individual, fast enough to move basically at light-esque speeds. Although Sonido, which is their technique, is actually, I believe, sound, not in terms of its translation, not flashed at being light. 1 second. Pardon. He has what is known as a hero, which is basically iron skin. He can tank blows. He's also capable of just rapidly aging something just by touching it. And when he touched Soifon's arm, it went brittle because it was so old, it just turned to dust, basically. He's also, his Zanpakuto, his weapon of choice, is a giant battle axe, which he's very proficient with. And it's implied he can probably use all the standard, like the Bala, which is the super fast bullet, and energy, and Acero, which is a doom blast. His real techniques come from his release, which is Aragante, which he takes on this form, which is essentially his real form of the Grim Reaper. And in this form, he is one of the most dangerous individuals, honestly, in Bleach, because he has an ability known as Respira, which is basically this black miasma, I believe is the term. This black gas-like fog, which he can control at will. The minute it touches something, it ages and rots it away. The minute it just grazed Soifon's hand, it's just started to rot away, so she had to cut it off. Buildings just crumble just by this guy stepping on them. An incoming missile came at him, and he just rotted it away before it even hit him. Even their version of Magic, Kido, rotted away before Aragante. Like, there's nothing this thing can't rot. Or can't age, I guess is the better term. Now, he only has one real clear-cut weakness, is that he's not immune to his own attack from the inside. He's immune to it on the outside, but what happened is the character ended up transporting a piece that was being affected by it, and his insides ended up rotting away. He's also capable of creating another axe out. But I'm guessing the axe is actually made of Respira because it's black, just like Zanpakuto was, or just like the Respira was, but shaped like a Zanpakuto. Excuse me. So ultimately, he's a bad mother. Like, when hopefully Karyad doesn't watch the video. Because we're currently watching Bleach. She had never seen it, and she's now just loving watching it, and I'm glad, because I really love the series too. But when we get to this guy, I'm like, I want her to be like, oh my god, what the hell? It's like, yeah, she's going down, girl. So yeah, if these two met in a, where's my picture? There it is. Sorry. If these two met in a fight, what would happen? Let's assume Baraggan is invading whatever the world of Seven Deadly Sins is. I've never actually watched the series. Mark has, and he likes it. Is invading that world. And, he sends his Fractions out. The Seven Deadly Sins beat those up. And Merlin takes it on upon herself to take on Baraggan. So Baraggan immediately isn't released. He's just in his old man form. But he's like, you really think you can take me on, woman? Why not just give up now and be my queen instead? And yeah, no thanks, sweetheart. I appreciate the offer, but I think I'll pass. And then she just, is using her infinity to basically just fire, eternal spells of lightning and power at him, and, firing attacks at him. And he's just, he's dodging, getting out of the way. He just comes in with the axe. She gets out of the way again. And she basically tries to, touch him. But as she tries to touch him, she can even tell that, wait a minute, what's going on here? He's like, and he just kind of reappears. But I was like, where were you going? It's like, ugh. She tries to get away. Now, the question is, she has stopped her own personal time. Does that mean he can't do anything against her by aging up her whatever he touches? And that was kind of weird. Aging up her whatever he touches. Aging up her body, like touching her arm, aging up her arm. Can he not do that because she technically is stuck in time? That's the thing. She's manipulated her own time, but I don't know if we've ever seen her manipulate or be manipulated by other time manipulators. Or, had to be that. There's nothing that's, I really think says anything against that. Plus, he's basically, he's accelerating time to some degree. He's aging things up. So he's causing time to move. So I think his power would bypass at least her immortality. So she immediately feels like something's wrong. But I think it would probably slow down his abilities. The fact that she's stuck in time slows down his ability to rot her arm, or crumble, make her arm crumble. But I think it still starts her, and she can even feel like her arm doesn't feel right. She's wondering what's going on here. Ma is like, I see. So you also have your abilities are revolve around time as well. It's very, very well that I also stopped taking it easy on you. What are you talking about? You see, we of the Espada all represent an aspect of death. And then he basically just goes over the aspects. Do you know what mine is? Time, aging. This is the pure truth that none of us last forever. That time will eventually eclipse all of us. Even the greatest, even the strongest will age, grow weak, and die. Speak for yourself. It's like, yes, I can. You might be the exception, though. You seem to have been able to stop your time. But tell me, are you so confident in your abilities after seeing this? Rot Arrogante! And then, he goes from that to... And even she's like, okay, all right, let's have fun then. And then, she teleports, trying to teleport into a different environment. Immediately she tries to grab him and teleport into a different environment where a spirit happens, and she immediately sees, she starts like, no. She just, she stops it, but she can see it's still, she stopped her spirit in time, but it's still there. She can't do anything about it. It means she has to basically remove the parts that are affected by the Respira. It's like, impressive. You can actually stop my Respira. Oh, you would make a lovely queen. Now she would be a little worried. It's like, I can't stop. I'm missing fingers now. It's like she puts a perfect cube. It's like, I see a keto of some kind. No, it's different. I don't know what type of magic you use. Magic? I don't believe in such Are you talking keto, or are you talking something else? I don't know what magic is, my dear. And to me, there is no such thing. These are just my natural given abilities that I am blessed with. And let me further the point. Now, remember, it says, and I quote, the perfect cube, by all accounts, is a spell that denies entry to anyone but the caster, originating from the demon world. Spell surrounds a specific area and reflects all attacks, whether strong or weak, back at the opponent. But Spirit A isn't an attack. And B, he's not trying to enter it. So remember, it's a miasma, basically. It's basically a gas or air or cloud, if you will. So really, he just wraps it around the cube. And remember, to what we can tell, that the perfect cube is not, obviously, it's clearly not the exact same thing as keto. But by all accounts, it would be the equivalent of a keto. And ketos aren't even immune to Baraggan's abilities. He says, there might be ketos that last 1,000 years, but everything eventually rots and dies. And even he says this too, and she actually is now seeing, okay, she gets out of there temporarily. Like, okay, all right, the guy, she goes back and just, reformulates. It's like, okay, the guy, he's an evil skeleton guy. All right, he's an evil skeleton, kind of Grim Reaper-esque. He's he rotted away my perfect cube. I'm missing fingers now, that bastard. She does something to kind of give her replace them. He's not using magic, which means some of my spells aren't going to work. So she comes in again, is able to briefly touch him to get him into a different environment using water, the water dragons, using the lightning blast, using any of those. He just wraps himself in my ass and just like a giant dome and just blasted outwards, and she's been trying the best. Her clothes are starting to go, so she starts ripping. I was like, ugh. The ultimate, and then she just basically tries one last thing and basically goes, Chronal Coffin! And she just stops time. Now, here's the problem for Baraggan, is that if this were his base form, the time-stopping thing might not be as effective because he manipulates time around him on some level. But his release doesn't do that, which means she can finally go and get a lethal hit in on him. She basically just blasts him point blank. Now the question ultimately becomes, though, is anything that Merlin has, is anything she has in terms of like attacks, are they strong enough to actually kill Baraggan? And I will say that the only attack she actually has that would do it, it's not the wave dragon. That's just water dragon. That's not going to do much. Firestorm. He survived a freaking missile in his face, and because he did get hit by a missile in his face by Soyphone, so he survived that. So no, that's not going to work. The endless vortex. The only thing she has, the poison won't do it work on him at all, is the extermination ray. That's the only thing she has, because it incinerates everything in the line of fire. That's the way it works. It's essentially a incineration. It incinerates. That's the only thing she has that could kill him. So she'd have to basically, assuming she can do them in conjunction, she'd blast them there. Otherwise, if she can't do the Chronal Coffin with the exterminate beam, she would immediately get point blank, unfreeze time, and then blast his head off immediately. This is where, unfortunately, because I love Baraggan. Baraggan was a badass. And I love Bleach, but I gotta call it like I see it. I do think it's Merlin who takes the win here. But Baraggan, she takes the majority, but it's not a large majority. Like the Chronal Coffin is considered a forbidden technique. Like she probably wouldn't use it unless she absolutely had to. So there is a very real scenario where Baraggan could take the early win. I just think if she pulls out all her stops, then she does win. So she gets the majority, but Baraggan is right on her heels in that. So much as it pains me to say, I got to go with Merlin in this one. Merlin is the winner. Love Baraggan. He's a damn cool character, but ultimately, that's my thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on it, though? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Baraggan actually wins majority-wise? Absolutely. Hey, I would like to believe that. I do. Or do you agree with me and you think Merlin wins? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put it in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Why am I saying it? I don't know. I just would win Star Wars, Super Magic, whatever, and they can do it on the channel. Put it in the comments below as well. I'll get that at some point. So I've got the 3 what ifs I need to get to tomorrow. Plus, I got more schmoedowns to go over. So I'll probably be doing reactions at some point tomorrow or on the weekend. Just stay tuned for those. Till then, thanks for watching. Later, folks.